So, the show went great, but it seems the theme of the show was about educating people. So, I decided to take this opportunity to educate people on another perfect example of what this particular show was about. It's called the red herring fallacy. For the people who may not know what the red herring fallacy is, let me explain a little bit of it. It's where people, when you're going through a debate, they will the debate is about this, but they will make the debate about this to cover up responsibility for the main debate. Okay? Saying transgender people were crazy, saying that crazy and nutty, saying that people you have enough rights and stuff like that. Just the tone of voice and dismissive nature of those specific statements. Those were the statements that were outrageous. Not the fact that you don't know about birth certificate law, even though I felt like you should, but maybe you didn't. Or it was easy to find out. If you didn't, it was easy to find out when you're talking about the subject. So those were the issues. So in the show, they kept talking about, even some of the transgender people that was on there, they were making excuses like they were ignorant to certain facts. And I don't believe that that is true. The issue of documentation, yes, they may, because they're not transgender, they don't give a damn about us. They may not have had the information about birth certificates and the scientific information that proves that there's a genetic something in us that makes us what we are. They may not know all of that stuff. That's true. But they do know not to call us crazy. They do know what makes a trans woman real or unreal, what makes you a trans woman, and it has nothing to do with surgery. They do know that because they know the difference between a post-op and a pre-op because they're gay men. And if they have transgender friends for the long period of time that they said that they did, then they know those basic things. Those basic things they know. And there's no way people can tell me that, Israel especially. John, I don't know anything about him, but especially Israel. But I think John made it a point that he known Chase and this person and that person for a long period of time. So you know the difference between a post-op transsexual and a pre-op transsexual. You know the difference. You do. So you're not ignorant to those topics. So sitting there on the show saying she's crazy for thinking that she's a trans woman or that she's not even a real trans woman yet. Saying those things is crazy. And you know that because you all fight for rights, you know that saying someone is asking for too much or enough is enough, or that because we have these specific rights that we don't deserve these rights, or we should be grateful for these, or that we should be happy that we have this. Making those kind of statements that has nothing to do with documentation, the issue of documentation. Those things have nothing to do with it. And the fact that on the show they made it about, we're just ignorant to these topics. We don't know about these topics. It's not about that. They're the topics that I have the issue with. You do know about because you go through them. And that's why I name my video Hypocrites with Mics, because you know the issues, the feeling of certain things, the feeling of wanting rights. You know that. So saying someone have enough rights, that sounds like heterosexuals, Bible thumpers. That's what it sounds like. This is what John said. He says, I apologize for my tone and how I said things, but I still stand on what I said. So it kind of sounds like if you say something rude, like you're crazy and nutty and you have enough rights, take your little rights and keep it. If you say stuff like that and then, it's kind of like when people say, well, Latina people are dirty and they stay with a million people and they're just trying to come over to our country and fuck up our economy. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then I come back. Or, black people, they're so ghetto and undereducated. They're all monkeys and heathens and da-da-da-da-da. And then I come back and say, Oh, I didn't mean that tone. I didn't mean, when I said those things that I just said, I didn't mean that tone, and maybe how I said it was a little bit wrong, but I stand on the fact that, Latinos are dirty. And I stand on the fact that black people are monkeys. I stand on those facts. Now, my tone of voice could have been different, and how I said it. I could have said that you guys are primates. I could have said that you guys were unclean Latinas. I could have said that. But, my tone and how I said it was a little bit off. Fuck you. That is why I'm educating today about the red herring fallacy, so you guys can know what it is and really see it for what it is. Red herring fallacy, where the subject is this, the problem is this, but we're going to make the problem about this, without addressing the actual subject. The subject is the disrespectful, dismissive tone, but we're going to make the issue that, the ignorance of the facts of documentation, when that really wasn't the problem to begin with. Red herring fallacy. I've educated. Good job. I feel good about myself.